Hello, everyone and anyone. I'm your host, Yui, and welcome to the third episode. Today I am joined by my friend Romella.
Hello, everyone.
We have been friends for nearly 4 years now. We known each other since 2020.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it went really quickly though, because I feel like it's been a few months, not a year.
Yeah. We actually talked about this before we started the podcast because we were planning on what to talk about. It's a proper script that we have right now that we're just not following.
Yeah.
But it's felt like we've been friends for 4 months. But it's been almost 4 years.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's unbelievable how we met as well. Because I don't think I will be friends with her. It's crazy because I was just looking like a bitch, basically. I would say I'm a bitch working, and she was the newbie that's kind of a bitch ish as well. But
I was not a bitch. I was so nice.
You were a bitch.
Really?
I think.
Really?
I think because I feel like I don't like new people who just start working because they're dumbass. Some people don't have the common sense they need to bring to a job, I think. So I don't usually like them. But then I feel like when I talk to you, I get a sense of feelings that you kind of know what you're doing. You're smart enough to think about it and figure out how to do your job. So that's how I think the friendship started.
Yeah, you approached me first, which I'm so surprised about. On my first day, I think I saw you there when I was getting trained, right? And I was I wanted to approach you, but since you had that stone cold face, I didn't know how to engage, right? So I was just making eye contact with you occasionally, hoping that it would be reciprocated as oh, come talk to me.
I did.
And then it did attract. I did pull.
Manifestation is real.
Yeah. And then as we actually started talking, instead of her judging me, we learned that she was in her 11th year of high school and I was in my 10th. And shockingly, we both went to the same school.
I know.
Yeah, which is such a big coincidence.
Because that area was not where most of our school kids go to work.
Yeah.
So it's so rare and it's such a coincidence that we actually meet and we actually go to the same school.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think I've seen her around at school because I don't know her anyway. But then after I've known her from work, I've been saying hi back and forth after I see her and all that. And we've been close.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now I've been up to a different point in life where I finished my high school last year and I'm starting my first year at uni and she is just finishing year 12. I think.
I have I think 5 more months now, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Which is so shocking because I still feel I'm 13 years old. I'm not sure if you felt this way, but it feels like I've just been stuck at a certain age point in life. And now it's everyone's telling me, oh, you can drive now. Oh, you can do this now. But it's guys, I'm only 12, 13. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, it's the feeling of just I think you enjoyed the phase of being 13 years old because it's fun, you don't have that much responsibility and the school is not too hard. But now you just reach a point where everything is
matters.
Yeah, it matters. And everything is on your shoulder, so it's kind of whoa,
it's really up to you to be successful. and I know it's oh, obviously it's on you to be successful, who's gonna do it, the boogeyman, the fun. But it's so daunting because you always think, oh, I have so much more time until I'm done. I have so much more time. And then next thing you know, you're 6 months away from graduation. And now you're actually thinking about your degree course. I'm not sure how you felt during your first round selections because it's coming up for me.
I mean, my first round of selection was just what I had initially think of putting in it. So my first initial plan was going to medicine. But then I don't think, I think my way of thinking is I should be able to make it, right? I was kind of doing my work good as well. So that's why I can make it. And then my second option was medical science. Because I know it's like the what's it called? The selection process can be like very tough and all. So that's why I put like as a second option. Like I also have like a little backup. But then it just felt strange because like I when I see myself right now compared to when I was like in my first round selection process, I was so shocked what I was doing, because right now when I think about it, medical school takes so much time of you. You need a lot of studying. It's going to cost you a lot of money, and you can't do anything. You basically bury yourself in just study and books.
Yeah, it's like there's like no way back. And I feel like what you said kind of links back to what I said before, where it's like it's so easy to say, oh, I have so much time, I'll do this. But then it's like you don't really think about the fact that you actually have to do it. Like you're going to be living that reality. It's not just random words that you're saying anymore, you know?
Yes, actually everything matters.
Yeah, like it's like when you're younger, you're like, okay, I want to be an astronaut. But then when you say it when you're older, it's like if you want to be an astronaut, you got to do physics, you got to do maths. It's like it's actually something that you actually have to like put a lot of effort, time, and discipline into. It's not something that you can just say anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's so scary about growing up.
I mean, we're all growing. Well, growing up. I'm 18. She's turning 18 soon. But like, I feel like schooling, basically like the idea of education at the moment for us is kind of like tough in a way, because we are trying our best. She is trying her best for her last year, because it's kind of important in a way to get in like to a course that she wanted to. And me personally, I'm just like starting my first year, and it's kind of stressful because like it's such a big transition from like high school to uni. It's like you don't know anyone and anything that you do, and it's such a different atmosphere from like who you usually see. And like you don't have like the same class as your friend anymore. Like there's so much like different timetables, so you can choose whatever you want, and you won't see your friend. And it's like the time and the connection we spend for like whatever years we have, it's kind of not as close like as we used to be. And then we have like our own life on the track.
Like, I think friendships as we grow up, they just have a trend of becoming very superficial. Like, it's very categorized. Like, for example, in high school, like, you'd be friends with someone. Maybe in and out of school, you guys wouldn't be close. But, like, it'd be two types. You know, you'd be close in school and close out of school. Like, it'd be those two types, right? But, like, in college and, like, work and stuff, it's like you're just classmates, or you're just working in the same field, or it's just you guys know each other through, like, connections. It's nothing that's like, oh, you guys are friends because you guys share similar experiences or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, life is just a roller coaster. And, you know, I really want to have, like, I want to really wanted to ask you, like, you know, what has been, like, the proudest moment of, like, I say, like, education time in general. Like, what's your proudest moment?
I feel like the proudest moment in my education was when I finally decided to trust myself and take the leap into doing chemistry and biology. Because growing up, I was always considered the dumb student. And I know no one really thought that way just because of like the predetermined like stereotypes that Asian kids are smart, right? But like deep down, I've never felt competent enough to be taking such courses, you know, or like such topics.
I mean, so I think it's the same with me, because like when I was in like Cambodia, like that's where I was growing up till I moved to Australia. I feel like I didn't do such like a good job, especially my last year. I was failing every classes I went to, because I think like the educational system is so bad that like we gotta do so many subjects like chemistry, biology, physics, geology and stuff like that. We can't choose. We can't pick and choose basically. We have to do every single one of them. And like, you know, everyone expecting you like to get a good grades and all. And it's kind of like, wow, it's such a big shift, like from the educational system over there and to like the Australian educational system. It's such a big shift. And like as you said, like the Asian background, people expect so much from you, and it just, you know, the pressure is kind of
and when you can't meet their expectations, it feels like you're not just letting them down, you're letting yourself down, and like it kind of leads into like an identity crisis, because like when you get into a pattern of like, because like eventually I kind of felt like I got a little bit smarter, or like I kind of started applying myself more, and like I got better results, right? But it felt like none of that was really enough, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like we're both perfectionists right here. Like, we tried our best to meet, like, the expectation of Asian parents, obviously. Mm-hmm. And I feel like when we put so much pressure on ourselves, we keep perfecting our, like, how would I say it? Like, our beliefs in a way that we can do much better than this. Like, why are we not?
And nothing ever becomes enough. Yeah. And then it's horrible when you start like linking your self-worth to what you achieve, because it's like a turn slip. Like, it's like you're like, okay, why am I not good enough to get this grade? Like, it's like we let the grades define us, and like it really does become a crisis when you get older and topics become harder and you can't keep up with all of it, because it's like you're so used to it defining the type of person you are and how you're treated and what you deserve, that when you don't get it anymore, it just feels like you as a person are not enough, and not just that the topic is hard.
Yeah, I think when we say about like the Asian upbringing, I think that's also hard, and like the expectation after you had like your education, when you finish it, the career that I want you to go into is just like doctor, engineering, or like I don't know,
something that gives status, or like something that's like high above.
It is such a big pressure for everyone, I think, because when you can't meet that expectation, you feel like just a failure. And I feel like most of your family members rejected you from like being seen as like the good golden child, I'll say. And it's just it feels so sad that we can't be ourselves, like be enough when we just be our normal self. Like, we can't be that. We have to be like our best, like top. We have to be on our tiptoe every single time, like every single day.
And it sucks because it makes even like a relationship that's supposed to be so personal, like family, it feels so superficial as well, because it just feels like instead of like them liking you for you, you're just trying desperately for them to like you in general.
Yeah, it's such a hard time. Like, and then when you bring up to like the hard time, I feel like even now that we settle in like Australia for however like long you have been here, you still have that like feelings of being like an outcast.
Yeah.
Because you don't know where you belong.
It becomes even worse when you come to a Western world, because it's like, at least back in like the home country, you can assimilate more into it and you can grow into it, you know what I mean? But when you come to the Western world, where you will never be the quote unquote normal, it just feels like you're trying to fit in with two different worlds, and like if you please one, you dissatisfy the other. So it's just like you're just stuck in the middle, never feeling like you're enough for either side.
Yeah. Especially like when you go back to like a visit to your home country, they see you as like, if you live here for long enough, like they would consider you white, because sometimes you can't even speak like the language that you were from like fluently anymore.
And it sucks because it's like they expect you to keep up with it, but in your day-to-day life in the Western world, you're not going to be speaking your mother tongue all the time. It's just not possible, because in most cases you come home and you speak with your family for like an hour or two, and then the rest of the 22 hours of the like day, you're like going to your work, school, talking on the phone with a friend, and it's just not like what's it called?
The environment is different.
It's not like what's called plausible to always be like practicing your home language, you know?
Because time's tight for everything. It's like the time management we have in school is so tight. We have like school from like 8:30 to 3, and after that it's our time. But then our time is like mostly spent on like doing work from like school and all that, and then we have like chores to do afterwards as well. So I think the time management is not like manageable. and it's kind of sucks in a way because we can't enjoy it. I think like when it's your time in school, you should be able to enjoy it as much as you could with like your friends and your families. But these things that like takes up all your time, it just make it unbearable and unenjoyable. So it just sucks.
I feel like what's it called? Family. It sucks when like what's it called, your family and you just have like a very superficial relationship, because it makes you feel so like alone. Because like for example, you feel isolated from your community, right? So you try to fit in with like the white groups in like the school, you know? But then you also feel isolated there. So it's just like there's literally nowhere to turn really, and you just have like your schoolwork and you have a goal in mind to get a good ATAR, to get a good job at the end, make your parents proud. But then it's like you're still like not making them fully proud because you don't really like get the language, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like when you don't get the language, it makes the relationship between like the three of you is just like very difficult to maintain.
Yeah.
Because it's like they don't understand what you're trying to say and you don't understand what they're trying to like get across fully, you know? So it's just like,
I feel like it feels like when a parent's like discipline their child, like they don't get the message across. Sometimes the child don't understand what the parent wants them to do or like want them to know about.
And there's different beliefs, because when you grow up in the Western world, you think certain things are okay that your like parents would absolutely despise, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like you guys aren't on the same page, so it's just very like difficult.
Any like moments that you step out your comfort zone that you feel like you've done enough for them, like
I feel like if I'm being truthfully honest, like I don't feel like I've ever felt like I've been doing enough. Like I feel like maybe it's being the what's called a daughter in an Asian household, but it just feels like no matter what I do, it's just not enough, and there's always something else I have to achieve. And it's also the fact that like in my family I'm the youngest, and it's not like a small age gap either. It's like 7 and 10 years, right? So it just feels like everything that I'm achieving, it's already been done. So it feels like I need to either do it quicker or I need to do something at a higher caliber. Like it's like either better or quicker. And it feels like I'm like rushing against myself. Like I'm having a race against myself, because my siblings, they don't think like this. They've lived their lives,
but just chill.
Yeah, but it's like I'm having this like mental gymnastic Olympic like style of race with them, but like it's an empty field. There's no one there. I'm racing. It's just myself.
It's yourself and your thoughts and your beliefs, I think. And like, I think it's the same for me. Because when I was just finishing my last year of high school, I was just racing for my sibling, especially my brother, because he did quite well in school. And it just made me feel like, oh, okay, I think I should be able to beat up like the grades or the step that he took. I think I should be able to beat that. But then when I received my ATAR, like my final grading, I kind of was devastated because I only got 80. I was just feeling like I did so much more, and why did I only get that much? I feel like I should deserve more. But then at the end of the day, the course requirement wasn't that high because I chose nursing. It wasn't that high, and I was able to accept what I got. I was in denial for a little bit. I was in that stage of just, I've done so much, and I stayed up for many nights just, do schoolworks and all, and why didn't I get the ATAR that I wanted? Like,
yeah. No, I 100% get it, because it's very disheartening, and not just disheartening, it's crushing, because it's like you've put in so much hours into it, and you've like really like you put your hopes into it, because like I know everyone just says it's just a grade, it doesn't define you, but like for most people who don't come from the highest of socioeconomics, it's like doing another degree just to transfer to the one that you want. It's not plausible financially. Like, it puts a big strain on yourself, your family, and just the timeline that you have for yourself in when you want to complete everything. So it's like, and like, what's it called? Knowing that you did your best and your best didn't even get you what you want, it's horrible. It really is.
You know, now let's like shift the topic to like a little different from like our schools and like our experience with like education. I say, like, I want to like have like a deep reflective conversation with you. You know, my question would be like, if you have like a chance to go to the past or the future, which one would you choose? Like, it give me such a chill when someone asks those questions because it's different every time.
Okay, I think I would love to go to the past. But, like, before I do that, I want to really, like, get my knowledge in on certain things, like, certain inventions. Like, for example, a pen. Like, I want to learn how a pen is made, how it is, like, sourced, and just everything. Go back to before pens were created, and then just, like, create it, monopolize on it, and just set myself up financially. Like,
that sounds really nice though. When in 2000 something, like when the house price is still low, set yourself up, bought it, and then just have a comfy
oh my
life.
God, I would buy like 1,000 like bitcoins.
Oh my God, I'd be so fucking rich after. And
like, I think that translates to like at least like $1 billion, right?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, like, I don't know the exact conversion, so don't come at me, guys. But, like, all I know is I want to be balling. I wouldn't be working.
I wouldn't be working, be a slave.
I'd be...
My God, I realized being a slave is so weird. Because, like, okay, so my mum has, like, her own business, right? At, like, Cambodia. And I chose not to be a slave over there. And I chose to be a slave over here. So I'm, like, one day, like, one morning that I was working, I was just... why did I make this decision to come over here and be a slave for others while not being a slave for my mum? Like, it's such a fucking weird feelings that I'll kind of not regret it, but like, if I have the choice to choose it again, I would stay with my mum. It's so strange because it's so hard working as a slave for others, right?
No, yeah, like, it's because there's so many restrictions to yourself, because at the end of the day, you have to get confirmation from one person to another, and it's never really, like, your independent choice. It's, like, the approval of 7 other people.
Yeah, you're looking for, like, the external,
confirmation.
Yeah, external confirmation, and you, like, constantly seeking for approval because you don't know when you do good enough or when you do like a shit job or whatever like that, and this constant looking for like approval is just very exhausting for like us. Like,
it leads to so much burnout. Can we talk about that? Like,
oh my God, especially like for fucking retail workers and like fast food workers, the way that like management
we're treated internally and externally, it's actually horrific. And considering most people start their retail or just like their part-time job or casual job at the age of like 15, 14, and the way that like they're treated from the get-go, it's so disheartening.
I feel like they ruined our like beliefs and the work culture. I think like it just set us up to feel like we're not good enough for the system. We're so shit. We don't cut for this. We should
just like accept what's given, like the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And like if you get yelled at or you get screamed at or sometimes even like verbally, physically like abused, you're just meant to take it. You're just meant to take it because it's like, you're just a worker and they're getting money from the customer. So it's like your struggles are not that important.
Yeah. But then if we, I feel like everyone needs to know this. If you don't have these like retail workers, fast food workers, like all the essential, you won't have all like the services available to you anymore. When you take anything for granted, it's not gonna last long, and I know you're going to suffer. Like,
yeah, like it's the everyday luxuries that we have that like we take for granted. Like, for example, the person who goes around and cleans up the trash in like the local neighborhood. you don't really think much of that person, but it's like if that person was not there, imagine how many bins would be overflowing, the trash that'd be on the ground, and that clean neighborhood that you see would not be there. Like, and I feel like it's just because we chase something that will like give us status, like something like a doctor, lawyer, but it's like the simpler people who do the jobs that people don't want to do, it's like they keep us running as well. Like everyone does their part, like to keep the world going. And it's like, it's sure they may not be doing something you deem as big, but you're benefiting off of it, like regardless, you know? So it's like to put down someone who's just working a job, which at the end of the day is just to make money so you can pay your bills. It's very like, it's like you lose hope for humanity, you know? Because yeah, when you define someone based on what they do to just pay their bills, it's horrible.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. How would you say success to be defined? Would it be based on like status or like money, or how would you say?
I feel like for me, like if I'm successful in life, I feel like I'll have a salary, like a stable job that like provides many benefits, and like the salary and those benefits would like help me retire my parents. Because like I feel like that's how I'll know I'm successful, when I can just help them pay off the house, do this, do that, take them out whenever they want. Like, you know, I feel like my success is rooted in the happiness of my family.
That is very good, because I feel like we're so different in this aspect, because my happiness, well, not super different, but I do have like a little bit more added to it. I do want to retire my parents and all that, but I feel like I don't want to base my life, like my financial stableness, on like just a salary. Because sometimes I don't know what's going to happen. It's such an unsure world, like where everything could go upside down and just like a flip of switch. So I want to like, you know, a little more income, like sources. So it could like, you know, help me a little bit more with the worry when you know that you in control of your financial stuff. So it's kind of very, it has like a relaxed sense to it. I don't have to worry as much. I don't need to like be working my ass off just, you know, to earn money. I don't want that. I feel like that just a little different aspects between us. Yeah.
That's fair. Like I feel like there's the benefits and downfalls to being your own boss. Like for example, like if you have like these multiple income sources, like there are some other ways that it may go wrong, but I know like it does provide another layer of like security if your first job doesn't go as planned, you know, or like you can't work for a period of time. I feel like everyone just has a different approach in life, and like that's fine, you know. Like I feel like I was raised very traditionally, like to just chase after stability. Like the traditional idea of stability, you know, like finish university, get a job, and then maybe eventually marry and settle down. Like very traditional.
I mean, I'm the same. Like I raised like that because my parents want me to like finish like the uni degree that I'm doing right now, and like, you know, get a stable job, obviously, and same with getting married and like having kids and settle down. But I don't see that, like I see the having kids like settle down stuff, but I don't see myself getting like, you know, a stable job, because I don't like the idea of like having a shift works or like 9 to 5. I just don't like that idea, because like I could do so much with my time. When I finish high school, I feel like I'm more like a person when I'm not like trapped in a space or like in a time restriction.
Yeah, when you have more autonomy over your life.
Yeah, it's such a joy to me. I can do whatever at whatever time I want to. It's just my own freedom that I can spend, and nothing is restricting that. So it is very good. That's why I think multiple streams income is kind of good in a way. But then your salary, like your expectation or like a view of like a salary job is stable job is kind of good.
Yeah. I don't know, like, I guess maybe it's the way that I was raised. It's like, I'm not used to taking big risks. Like, for example, this podcast even, like, I'm not good at, like, stepping out of my comfort zone or, like, what's already been laid out for me. So it's like, I'm trying to be more open to these new possibilities and ways to live life that I previously would not have, like, thought would be for me. And I feel like that's just the steps that we must take along the way to, like, get out of our comfort zone. Because, like, I know what pathways I can, like, take to lead to a certain pathway, right? One that, like, every, like, woman that I know has taken, like, you know. But it's like, I think I don't want to live that life. Like, for you can see, like, we're such opposites, because you can see the kids and you can see the marriage, right? But you can't see, like, settling down into a job. I can 1,000% see myself working, but I cannot see the kids and, like, husband type stuff.
I mean, like, okay, if we're talking about, like, working and husband, I think when you settle down and you have kids, I still see that you still have to sacrifice one of it. Like, when you have kids and no one's looking after the kids, I think you gotta sacrifice your work or someone's work. Someone has to sacrifice.
Which one would you sacrifice? Like, would you get your husband to quit, or would you quit? Because for me, like, I wouldn't be having kids. I don't see that for me. Kids or husband. Like, I'm the type that loves my work, honestly. Like, when I truly get into it, I can just love every aspect.
Career-driven. I'll say that.
Yeah.
The thing is...
Like, I've never met a dollar that doesn't make me happy.
A dollar never broke my heart. But, like, at the same time, it sounds, you know, very complicated. But then, in a way, I think that... the kids should have, like, enough time spent with each of their parents. So, like, I don't know, maybe when I started, like, taking care of the kids, maybe I quit some time for some time, and then, you know, when the kid a little grown up, I go back to work, or, like, you know, I start, like, a part-time job or anything like that, like, something that has flexibility. And then I feel like it should be the same with my husband if I want to get married and have kids. Something that we should be, like, it's a shared responsibility. It's just not on me alone. So that's what I think.
I think, like, a nightmare of mine is to be a single parent with a husband. And by that, like, let me elaborate. I mean, like, when you're doing everything a single parent would do, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the baby, coming back home from work, doing all of that over again, working those long hours, all while you have a husband who's just, like, sitting there. Like, that's so, like, being a single parent while having a husband is actually so scary to me.
Same. But
because I feel like
I don't think I would be able to deal with it, though.
Yeah, like for me, and everyone's just like, oh, like, just pick better, right? But the thing is, in this generation, these guys, they're so good at pretending. Like, they will, like, be like, oh, I can do this, I can fulfill this lifestyle. And then eventually, when you are at a point where it's like a divorce would do more bad than good financially, or like, you know, stability for the kids and whatnot, it's like then they just start, like, lacking. Because it's like, I guess because in my culture, divorce is very frowned upon. So it's like, I'd rather make it work than divorce, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm just so worried to be trapped in that situation.
I feel like in most Asian culture, divorce is so frowned upon.
Definitely. They'd rather you be, like, in an abusive, very, like, toxic spot than, like, divorce.
Yeah. But then, it's opened up, like, to a different perspective in, like, the Western culture, because, like,
yeah, like, there's a saying that, like, what's it called, Western weddings, Western vows, they don't mean much. Like, for example, most Nepali couples that I know who are, like, quote unquote married, they don't get married legally. Like, they get married in the eyes of the community, right? And just that alone, where you're, like, putting forward your pride, your dignity, your family name, that is enough of a promise, where it's like you don't really go to the courthouse to finalize it, and you just become, like, a de facto relationship legally.
That's kind of scary to me. Like, God, I need, like, a fucking piece of paper to, like, say, okay, we are married.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying, though, because it's like, with that, like, with what I said, right, with Nepali weddings, it's like, people will be like, oh, that's that's so scary, there's not a lot of promises, but I feel like that's where it kind of, like, strays, because I feel like most people, like, they don't, like, in the Western world, they don't really value the concept of marriage and family name, because in, like, South Asian, Middle Eastern, and, like, those types of communities, when you, like, marry someone, even if it's not legally, just putting forward your family name and your pride on it, it's just, that is enough to hold it together. Where it's like, legally, you just become a de facto relationship where the government recognizes that you just live together and, like, you're a couple. But you're not, like, legally married, so your finances aren't intertwined. Most of the time, like, the younger couples, they don't join their bank accounts. The older couples do, like, from, like, back home. When they come here, they join it. But, like, here, the younger generation, they don't join bank accounts. But that's a whole other topic. What I'm just trying to say is that, like, Western vows, they don't just mean much. It's like, you have to have a legal thing binding you. But in, like, when you come from countries that value so much about, like, pride and your status and everything, it's like, you wouldn't do something to sully your family name. You wouldn't do something that would be, like, frowned upon, you know, or would put shame to you. And I feel like that's so different. That's why it's like, in most Asian relationships, your parents would tell you, oh, don't date outside of the culture, because they don't have the same mindset as us. Like, there's, like, the idea that you don't like the color blue, okay, we're divorcing. Like, they think, like, they're very flimsy, like, Western marriages, because in Nepali marriages, like South Asian or whatever marriages, they try really hard to make it work.
In my perspective of, like, marriage, it's kind of like very scary. It's something that I don't know if I can do, because, like, I feel like the commitment and, like, they just want to make everything work is just kind of scary to me, because I don't believe that I can do it. Well, right now...
Like, you can't give fully? Like, you can't change everything about you?
Maybe, because, like, I feel like we gotta compromise in a way. But then, if you can't compromise whatever they want you to compromise, it's just not possible. It's not feasible.
What would you say that you wouldn't be able to compromise in a relationship?
Change myself.
Like, in what ways? Like, career, personality, looks?
Maybe, like, personality-wise, I think. Because I grew up in a time that I usually find myself more than someone tell me about me, I think. Because if you're trying to change me, it's going to be very difficult, because I need to find my peace first before I can change it. And I feel like if my beliefs and my value doesn't align with what they're saying, I don't think I'll be able to change it. That's what I think. I wouldn't be able to compromise. Well, I think this journey has been a long ride, and
yeah.
God, have we been talking about 30 minutes? It's nuts. Well, thank you guys, and thank you, Ramella, for being with me today.
Of course. After so long, we finally committed to something.
Thank you.